Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Crystalline. Last time, Leanna seemed weirdly relieved that we couldn't leave yet. Weirdly, I say, as it's not obvious that she likes us and doesn't want us to leave, but it's weird to dude man, bro. So, we'll get back at it. After we find Zach, we clean up the campsite, we gather our supplies, and we start again on our journey. We walk across the rolling grassy hills until we find ourselves back onto the path towards Illumia. Kara and Zach lead the way. I notice Zach walking a little closer to Kara than usual, but he keeps his arms crossed. Each time she catches him staring, her smirk grows more and more evident. Are those two together now? Thinking about Zach and Kara suddenly has me wondering about Leanna and me. What are we? Are we a couple, or was Leanna just caught up in the moment? I suddenly remember that kiss in my face goes hot. My gaze snaps to Leanna's hands dangling at her sides are small and delicate. My heart rate picks up. Reaching out. Why? Oh, I thought he was actually doing it. Reaching out to grab someone's hand is way less nerve-wracking than leaning in for a kiss, right? Besides, she made the first move with the wind temples, and now's my turn. Oh, I have to actually choose. Ah! It's gonna do it. I'll do the first one. Don't hesitate, but I can't seem to move. Don't hesitate, but I can't seem to move. My eyes feel like they're frozen to my side as I feel the fear climb up my body and grip my chest. What if it was all a mistake? I'll never know if I don't try. I take a deep breath. I gather up the courage to reach for Leanna's hand. Oh, she just doesn't. Leanna flinches, and she glances at her clasped hands, and her cheeks turn as red as poppies. She turns back to the group, and probably to make sure no one was watching. When it's clear no one was paying attention, she looks up at me with a soft smile and gives my hand a slight squeeze. Oh! Her fingers are soft and her hand feels surprisingly small, practically swallowed by my own.
Hey, Leanna, do you remember where we...
Oh god! We fucking goofed. Kara turns around and stops as she raises her eyebrows.
Oh.
God damn it. Leanna squeaks and her face turns scarlet and she drops my hand. A slow smile slides across Kara's face. Damn it, Kara. What are you doing?
I'm so sorry. Am I interrupting something?
You're the worst.
Of course not.
Zach and Amy stop. They turn to see what the commotion is about.
What's going on?
Play it off. Stonewall it. Kara pins us with a knowing stare, and her eyes shimmer with something playful and mischievous. Crap, she's definitely going to call us out.
No, nothing.
She spins around on her heel.
I didn't see anything.
Zach arches an eyebrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, actually, there was this really beautiful flower, and I thought it'd be very nice if someone picked it for me.
Never mind.
Jesus. Kara links her arm through Zach and he stops asking questions. She leads him ahead with Amelia trailing behind. Kara continues to flirt with Zach the entire way there while she pretends not to be interested. Well, he pretends not to be interested. Leanna and I chat quietly on the way there to kill time, but Amelia barely says more than a few words. She's been unnaturally silent for most of the journey. The pongo falls asleep inside my scarf while Kara leans into Zach. I can see the tops of Illumia's buildings peeking from behind a hill. As we start getting closer, the bustling of the city becomes louder and louder. I begin to recognize the stone buildings and the intricate crystal lamps. Kara grins.
Looks like we finally made it.
Amelia lets out a soft sigh.
Indeed, it appears so.
The city seems even more crowded than the last time I was here. Maybe that has to do with the time of day. So, are we just passing through here, or are we making a stop?
Well, I have a few things I want to take care of while we're here.
Same here. I'd like to check in with some people.
Amy is silent. Leanna sends her a sympathetic glance, patting her on the arm.
Just remember, everything's gonna turn out fine.
We can go together. Amelia doesn't look too convinced, but she nods.
Perhaps it would be best to meet at the inn when all of our matters are accomplished.
Yep.
Then it's settled. We'll meet back up at the inn in the evening.
With a nod, the group splits up and goes our separate ways. Well, I'm obviously going to start with what Leanna is doing. Wandering through the shops of Illumia, I catch a glimpse of white armor turning the corner. Is that Leanna? I hurry to catch up to her and tap her on the shoulder. She stops and turns around. A small smile lights her face.
Oh, hey!
Hey, are you taking care of some shopping while we're in Illumia?
Not exactly. Since I'm back in the city, I figured I should stop at the Mage Guild and file my report.
Report? She nods.
I have to give an update on the energy spike anomalies. We know now that they were caused by the temporal rifts.
My stomach gives an unpleasant twist. If she's going to be reporting on the temporal rifts, wait, you're not going to mention me, are you? Leanna shakes her head.
Don't worry. You're a byproduct of the spike, not the cause of it.
Oh. The anxiety lessens in my stomach. Well, that makes sense, but what will happen if the guild determines she's solved the case? Does that mean you're going to be assigned to another case? Leanna blinks surprised and laughs.
Oh, no, not at all. I haven't discovered the cause of the rifts or the anomalies, so I haven't completed my mission yet.
Do you know how long you're going to take? Leanna grins. Oh, God. Jesus.
Why? Are you gonna miss me?
But of course. Ooh, I like that. Of course. Ah! Every second without you, my heart hurts. She blinks and laughs.
I think you'll be alright for a few hours. Well, I'd better get going. The sooner I file this report, the sooner I can move on. I'll see you later today.
Yeah. I watch her turn and disappear with one of the buildings with gold lettering on the side hanging above, just as intricate as the surrounding ones. I guess I'd better go find something else to do. We're gonna follow Amelia. Amy's going to be at the Mage Academy, and I think she could use some moral support. I retrace my steps to the academy and spot Amelia along the way. Hey! Amy shuffles to a stop. Surprise flickers across her face.
Oh.
She blinks.
Hello.
She barely seems to register I'm there. Her mind is clearly somewhere else. She must be really worried about facing the academy today. Hey, it's gonna be okay. They might be angry at first, but you're a lot more capable than what they've been giving you credit for. They will have no choice but to see that. Amelia blinks.
Your confidence does provide some solace to my distress.
Of course! They can't possibly stay mad when they realize how much this adventure has benefited your studies. She pauses, mulling over my words. She is so quiet at first that I'm not sure how I convinced her. But eventually she nods, and a familiar spark finally returning to her eyes.
I find your evaluation reassuring. I hope you are correct in that assessment.
So, got any ideas about how you're going to convince them?
I do. I plan to show them all the research I've gathered on our journey hence far.
That's cool. What kind of research?
A continuation of Elderism's research into the temples of the ancients. I also have extensive notes on your impressive and accelerated mastery of casting and fighting.
Wait, what?
Of course, those findings I will not be sharing with the Academy at this time.
Thank you. What kind of breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. Oh, good. She cocks her head to the side and shakes
Your
her head.
bewilderment just now was unexpected.
Sorry, it's just I was worried you were going to tell them about me and that they'll find out I'm from another world. But I'm glad you're leaving that
I
out.
believed it to be quite obvious that I would not be providing that information.
I smile at Amy, showing my gratitude. She may seem a robot. Yeah, she may seem robotic. She may seem robotic at times, but she really does care about her friends. I told you she's a robot. Thanks, Amy. That's so nice of you. She blinks.
After all, it is irrelevant for my report.
Oh. Amelia turns and starts walking away. Hey, wait. I follow her through the academy's wrought iron gates and into a familiar grassy square. There are fewer students out here today when I was with Leanna. Maybe most of them are in class. A few students in red and blue cloaks glance curiously at us as we pass. In fact, I receive a few more curious looks. Why are they staring at us? Amy doesn't bat an eye.
Their stares are directed at you. As you are not a student, they are merely curious as to the reason for your visit.
Makes sense. I thought maybe they knew about you or something.
I am just one student out of many.
She makes a fair point. I don't know most students back in my university
Come.
either.
We should go this way.
Venture forth. We enter the castle and Amelia leads me up a spiral staircase. Our footsteps echo across the stone as we travel in silence. Amelia's expression is impossible to read. I'm not sure if that's a good sign or not. She leads me into an open room. It looks like it's a library or a study hall. A few students peek around their books to get a glance at us and then return to whatever they were doing. We push to the back of the room and into a small office where a woman wearing flowing black robes sits at her desk. Her long teal hair is still thick, but her amber eyes are creased with fine wrinkles, exposing her age.
Professor Odessa.
If it shows her, she better have wrinkles. She looks but has to lower at her quill and her purses her lips into a fine line.
Amelia?
She doesn't look old at all. The fuck? She looks slightly older than Zach. At best. Wrinkles. Out of here. Amy remains silent. The professor's gaze slides to me as she raises a brow.
Oh, you brought a friend.
Moral support
Yes.
and backup.
He is one of my travel companions.
I see.
She folds her hands together.
I'm sure I don't have to explain to you what must happen now that you've returned.
I am well aware of the consequences of my actions.
Professor Odessa nods and pushes herself to her
Then you
feet.
know that I must alert the council of your return.
Amelia nods and Professor Odessa's expression softens. She places a comforting hand on Amelia's shoulder.
It is good to see you again.
Thank you, Professor.
Let's go then. The council is very upset with you, with good reason. But I'll make sure you have a chance to speak and explain yourself.
Again, Amelia
The
nods.
sentiment is much appreciated.
Professor Odessa hesitates as her gaze lands on me again.
As I mentioned, he has accompanied me on my travels. I would wish to have him present should the council have any questions about my whereabouts or research.
Very well.
I stay quiet as I follow the two of them through the academy. I feel very out of place, but want to remain supportive of Amy. Eventually, we pause in front of a set of double doors. Professor Odessa pushes open the doors and they creak resoundingly. A group of robed professors sit around a large table. Their chatter ceases when we enter and all eyes turn to us.
Professors,
They nod in greeting. Professor Odessa steps aside to reveal
I call
Amelia.
upon the council to hear the case of Amelia Estelle.
Is she gonna go to jail? Shit! She takes her seat among the professors while Amy steps up.
Greetings, professors.
Their faces are stern.
Amelia Estelle, you left the academy against the will of your professors with no indication of your whereabouts.
I indicated my location within the message I left behind.
He glowers at her.
Yes, in Ember Mist, a fictional city.
That's some bullshit.
With all due respect, Professor, Ember Mist is a very real location.
And then the professor chimes in.
Amelia, please take the council seriously. The consequences of your actions could be quite severe.
How severe exactly are these consequences? Can she get expelled?
The only permissive reason for prematurely departing the academy is if on a sanctioned field study.
I was on a sanctioned field study.
Sanctioned by the academy.
I understand, Professor. But if I may ask, what more could I have done to be granted a field study by the Academy? My numerous attempts to acquire one has unequivocally been denied without a clear explanation.
Oh, she just added unequivocally. Alright. The professors glance at each other.
Any declinations of field studies would be due to a poor fit between student and study.
Amelia frowns.
Can you please elaborate as to how I am a poor fit? I have proven myself a sufficient mage caster in my classes. I have completed all prerequisites necessary to obtain a field study without fail. As such, I am one of the most ideal candidates for a field study.
Fucking tell him.
Your maturity level and ability to communicate with your peers is lacking. Your premature departure from the academy is a prime example of your immaturity.
I do apologize for my actions, and I recognize that my method in obtaining my field study were unorthodox. However, my research from the study has been most enlightening. I am confident should you hear what I have to say, you will be in agreement.
Amelia, I don't know what sort of situation you've gotten yourself involved in, but I can assure you it is not a field study.
Man, these guys are assholes. Amy opens her mouth to retort, but the professor holds up a hand stopping her. This isn't looking too good. Maybe I should step in. Fuck yeah, I should step in. Can you guys try to hear her out? I think you'd be surprised. The professor seemed to see me for the first time, then glare at
Young
me.
man, this is private academy business. You shouldn't be allowed to.
Professors, he is one of my associates who has accompanied me on my field study. I would request that he would be allowed to remain.
I, for one, would like to hear what Amelia has to say.
Thank you, Odessa. The professors quiet down as Professor Odessa fixes them a stern look. She then gestures to Amy to continue. Amy nods and gathers her thoughts. The tension in her body relaxes slightly as she stands taller. She glances at me and I flash her a grin. She's got this. Finger
On my
guns.
journey, I have come across substantial information about temples of the ancients.
Professor Odessa brows shoot up.
An interesting and unusual subject.
Amelia nods. She digs deep into her bag and pulls out several scrolls, rolls them out across the table, revealing notes, symbols, and elaborate sketches. I craned my neck to get a better look. I knew Amy had been keeping detailed notes, but the amount of detail is still very impressive. The professors gather in a circle and lean over the table to
As you
examine
can
it.
see from my findings, using previous notes from Eldurism, I have successfully accessed the temples which were forgotten by society. Each one has high concentration of energy.
Professor Odessa grins. She shifts her half-moon spectacles up her nose.
Elder
She doesn't
Eason's
have
research was
glasses.
incomplete.
Correct. I was able to use the research to orient myself to the general location of each temple. Once closer to the area, it was a mixture of cross-referencing notes with anecdotes from the fellow travelers, which helped me pinpoint each temple's exact location. For reference, the fire temple was located in the ancient city of Embermist.
The professors paused at the mention of Embermist, then continued to pare over the notes. Pair? Professor Odessa looks up at Amelia, her eyes sparkling. A whisper of a smile is on her
I
lips.
have to admit, this is impressive work.
Of course it is.
Notes are meticulous and well documented, and the findings are worthwhile.
The others murmur in non-agreement. Amelia says nothing. She seems to be holding her breath.
However, I believe I speak for the group when I say this is incomplete.
Amy blinks and the shock is evident on her face, her brows knit into worry.
Which means, I propose that you continue on your Academy-sanctioned field study, while we review the current research you have collected.
Hell yeah. The professors glance at each other, then agree in the chorus of nods and murmurs. Amelia breaks into a broad grin, her eyes widen with hope.
Really?
She's so excited she can practically squeals the word out. Immediately, she claps her hands over her mouth and her face turns beet red.
I agree.
Despite my better judgment, your research is most impressive. I too agree.
Professor 3 is a real piece
Then
of shit.
settled. You are officially on your field study assignment for your eligibility to join the rank of Magecaster upon successful completion.
Amy clears her throat.
Thank you. This is a great honor.
She inclines her head, her bangs covering her eyes. Professor Odessa smiles and pats her on the shoulder.
Of course. Well done.
I can practically feel the embarrassment shimmering off of Amelia in waves. She lifts her head, her face is slightly red from her outburst, and the other professors still seem a little ruffled, but it's clear they're impressed.
I think we'll be seeing great things from you, Miss Estelle.
After being dismissed, Amy and I exit the council room. Congratulations! This is amazing news.
Yes,
Suddenly she squeals and latches onto me in a tight hug. Whoa!
thank you. It was with your assistance that I have finally acquired a field study.
Yeah, you could have just not came back. That was all you, but I'm glad I could help. Gently I return her hug. Just as suddenly Amy lets go and smooths her robes. When she looks back up at me, she's regained her calm and collected composure. The only hint of her previous excitement is a sparkle in her eyes. You ready to go back? She nods. As I follow Amelia out of the academy, I see Professor O'Deffer in my peripheral vision. She is talking to a man who looks around her age. He has a white stripe with his dark hair and wears knight's armor. Does he work? Is that Broodman? Amy doesn't seem to have noticed him. I scoot a bit closer to get a better look at the guy. His eyes more mismatched. One is brown while the other is blue. Professor Odessa embraces him warmly.
Rixnay, my mage knight in shining armor is here.
Now I know why he decided to stay in Havengard. Professor Odessa giggles. Rixnay fondly rolls his eyes.
You're always so dramatic.
Oh, he's one of the hero dudes. And she's the fucking other hero person.
How could I not be when a revered class master from the Mage Guild comes all this way to visit little old me?
That rank pales in comparison to being the most beautiful and intelligent professor in all of Havengard.
Yeah, I could just leave. Anytime a faint blush dusts her cheeks, as she smiles up at him. He matches her smile and then leans and wraps his arms around her
So,
waist.
what's the lesson planned for today, Professor?
I should leave.
Why don't you come in for office hours and we can discuss it further?
I should leave. Okay, I'm done eavesdropping on this conversation. Yeah, you should have left a little bit ago. Feeling a bit flustered, I quickly catch up with Amy. She looks back at me as she hears my approach, but otherwise doesn't react. We make our way out of the academy. Once we reach the streets of Illumia, we part ways. Why not? As for Zack and Kara, knowing Zack there's one place to be for sure, and after what transpired between him and Kara in the Bridgewick, I guess that Kara is with him. Following my hunch, I make a familiar trek back to the inn, and I do make a couple wrong turns, but all in all, I find the inn without much trouble. Just as expected, Zack is at the bounty board. I begin to approach, then I spot a familiar long, luxurious brown ponytail come into view. Kara joins Zack at the board and smiles up at him. He glances at her, then folds his arms. They stand there together for a few minutes. Zack turns to face Kara.
Hey, Kara.
Yeah?
He hesitates. Kara arches her brow.
I'm gonna go get my dischargers checked out.
Oh,
She blinks in surprise and fixes him a curious look.
okay.
Yeah, why'd you
Do
tell?
you want to go with me?
That's a weird... Okay. Her eyes wide.
You're asking me to go with you.
Yeah, don't follow.
Yes.
Yeah, you should just not be
Like,
here.
me and you.
Yes.
As in us.
Yes.
Together.
Do you want to come or not?
Yeah, that's a good response after this much.
No, I'm busy.
Zack jokes.
What?
Kara giggles.
I'm just kidding.
She latches onto Zack's arm and snuggles onto his
I'd
bicep.
love to come with you.
Zack's face turns pink. He coughs.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Together they begin to walk out. Neither one of them notices me. I watch Kara and Zack walk away together, flourishing with pride. A single man tear rolls down my cheek. Look how far my bro has come. Watching their retreating forms exit the inn, I quietly follow them out. I guess they're a bit occupied. Maybe I should do something else to pass the time. I decide to spend the remaining time on my own. I head to the marketplace. After browsing the stores, I feel strongly nostalgic. I recover a few of the items. I recognize a few of the items being sold for my first time in Illumia, and I have mixed feelings about that. Have they been here so long that things which previously made me wonder have become normal? Either way, this is probably an indication that I should meet back up with the others. I don't want to dive in this rabbit hole again. As I head towards the inn, I run into Leanna in the street. She grins, her cheeks flush as she pauses to catch her breath. I glance at the mountain of groceries huddled in her arms.
Hey!
My stomach gives me a pleasant little swoop at Leanna's voice. What the hell? Hey, you ready to meet the others? She giggles.
Actually, since you've been such a good boy, I think you deserve a reward.
I don't know if I'm happy about that or not. Just tell me when and where. I wrap my arm around her small shoulders. I thought you'd never ask. Leanna frowned.
Excuse me?
Oh, I didn't think you'd go for that. Just don't. I didn't think you'd do that, you fucking idiot. Just tell me where we should go for my reward. Leanna's gaze goes flat. It doesn't seem like her eyes are boring into
The
me.
kitchen.
I blink, surprised. The kitchen?
Yeah.
I chuckle. Oh, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you? Well, not the most comfortable sounding place, but you know what? I'm
For
into it.
dinner?
Dinner?
Yes.
Yes, it should be for dinner. I glance at groceries in her hands, understanding she flashes through me. Yeah. Oh, I see. Leanna's cheeks tinge pink.
What were you thinking?
Nothing. That you wanted to cook me dinner, of course. She seems unconvinced.
Uh-huh. Let's just get going.
Yeah, why was that what you thought? That's not at all what I thought she was talking about. She said it said her arms were carried with groceries. I thought for the reward was her going to be giving me the groceries to carry. Where are we going to go cook this up?
My place.
Your place. Oh shit. We had the same thought. She smiles and nods.
Yeah. I live here in Illumia.
That makes sense. She must have stayed at the inn the last time to keep an eye on me, but even more importantly, Leanna's inviting me to go to her place. Alone. My pulse quickens at the thought. I nod at the groceries bags. Let me help you with some of those. Leanna smiles, grateful.
Thank you.
She shuffles a few bags into my arms. They're a little heavier than I expected, but nothing I can't handle. I follow her through the city until we come to a small cluster of apartments. She leads me into a small stone building and then shows me inside. Whoa. Clothes are sprawled across the living room floor, and there are a few piles of laundry she hasn't put away, and blankets left unfolded on the couch, and several pairs of boots have been kicked carelessly off to the side. This is not the kind of room I was expecting.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, whoa. This is a fucking mess. Lana drops the groceries to the ground and begins frantically collecting her clothing, and her hair falls in front of her face. She bends down, but not before I see the bright blush in her cheeks.
I'm so sorry!
A smirk slides across my face. Who knew such a proper mage knight could be so messy?
It's not like that. I mean, it doesn't always look this way. When I last left, I didn't realize it'd be such a long time before I returned.
Lana's face turns cherry red. I snicker. Uh-huh. I'm sure it doesn't always look like this.
It doesn't!
I give her a pointed look. Lana finally sighs. She slumps with defeat.
It's usually worse.
Oh, Jesus. I knew it!
In my defense, I didn't expect to bring anyone back.
She leads me into the kitchen, probably eager to change the subject. We place the groceries onto the counter.
Any special requests?
I don't think so. Surprise me. I trust Lana's judgment. I trust anything you want to make is going to be awesome. And that's where we'll end it here.